Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Catching Zeez podcast. I believe this is episode 15. I guess it's technically 16 if you think about it, but last week's episode was 14.5 because it was, pretty short and also was on the road, not necessarily recorded from my freaking bedroom. So yeah, this is episode 15. Don't question why it is, it just is. So, if you can't tell by the way that I am rambling today, I'm actually solo once again. You could probably tell just by the way that my profile picture is positioned. But this week, I've been giving myself a bit of a break, which I don't really take too often. I guess the last couple days, I've just kind of been not really focusing on YouTube at all, which I haven't really had in forever, because I'm pretty much always thinking about YouTube, right? I mention this all the time on my podcast. I'm always thinking about YouTube, always thinking about what type of content to make. And, the last 3 days, even though I have been thinking about it, I haven't been doing anything, right? My mind has still been in there, but I'm trying to take myself out of it, right? Because I talked a couple podcasts ago about, instead of going 100% all in on YouTube, dialing it down to 80%. Just so that I can, increase my input to make my output even better. Broaden my knowledge, I guess, or whatever else of the world. That way I can make more interesting content. So what I've been doing the last 3 days is I have literally basically just been playing games and just... That's about it, actually. I guess it's more of a vacation than anything that I'm giving myself, where I just haven't really been focusing on directly making content or writing the script for my new freaking miraculous video, or just really working on anything. I haven't touched my editing software in 3 days, and it kind of feels nice where I'm always trapped inside of my editing software, always editing videos. But I just haven't touched it, and it's kind of refreshing. Honestly, it's a little refreshing to kind of step away from the grind. And back when I was in middle school, high school, whatever, when I was in Boy Scouts or whatever, being able to go on campouts was just a completely separate world, I guess, where I'd be always focused on school, focused on studies, focused on whatever. And then when I would go on a camping trip, I get to leave all of that behind me and just focus on what we're doing out there. And even though there was some hard work to be done, it was so different from the everyday life that it just felt so special that the work didn't even really matter, right? It really depends on where you are. I guess I don't really know how to describe this, but here's an example. When I'm out camping with a bunch of my friends in Boy Scouts, and then we have to wash some dishes, and let's say it's super cold out, and then nobody wants to do it. I was always yeah, let's do it, because if we get to do the dishes, we get to go do more fun stuff. And even then, being able to do dishes with a bunch of people to talk to and hang around you, it's so fun. It is so fun. It doesn't even feel like a chore, because you're just hanging out with a bunch of people while doing said chore. Whereas when you're at home, you just gotta sit there and be scrub, no one to talk to, scrub, it's just boring. But when you're with a bunch of other people, it's wow, this is just a little party, except we have to wash the dishes. And then we can make stupid jokes about washing the dishes or doing silly things. I don't know, it's a good time, right? And I was trying to find that vibe again, because like I said, I do enjoy YouTube. It's my dream job. But there are parts of it that are, kind of boring, such as editing videos. I feel recently I've kind of lost the spark to make a video funny. Everything that I make just doesn't seem interesting or funny anymore. I think it's because I've been consuming a lot of content in the past few months that's really about improving your content. And I've been doing a little too much comparing, where my content feels it's such on a low production level compared to so many other people. It doesn't help that I'm constantly watching a lot of Mr. Beast stuff, who's literally got a team of tons and tons and tons of people, and I'm just one person. So that's a little tricky. But what I mean more to say is that I would really like to just make better content or whatever, and make more content too, more and better content, increase production, increase quality, increase quantity, stuff like that. But I'll talk about that later. I was talking about just me taking a short little break here, which is it is quite refreshing, where I've literally just been playing that game I talked about a couple podcasts ago, Identity 5. It's actually really fun. I've just been getting into it more and more. I've been watching a bunch of tournament matches, and some of them are super hype. And the community in the game you know, as with all the communities, there's like some kind of cringe, but there's like a lot of fun people. Like you get to, before you do like a match, like everybody gets to talk to each other, like in chat. You can do voice chat, I think, but I usually turn it off. You know, you just like type and stuff. And so many people are just so friendly and nice, and it's actually really, really cool. Like there's a lot of different characters to play as, so there's lots of different little play styles you can go with. It's just been a really, really good time. And I've been learning a couple different characters, and I've been really sticking with them. And they've actually got like an event planned for one of the characters that I'm playing that I'm kind of obsessed with right now, so that's pretty cool. That should be out, I think, tomorrow as I'm posting this. So I'm probably going to stream the game tomorrow on my gaming channel. I'll also talk a little bit more about streaming a bit later, because I haven't really been doing that. But anyway, yeah, I've just been taking a break for like a few days, and it's been kind of fun. I think I'll give myself like today to edit this video, and that's all I'll do. And then probably tomorrow is, I'm recording this a day before it releases, so yesterday and today for you. I'll probably won't be doing too much YouTube work, but back on Thursday, because I wanted to stream, I want to get back into it. But you know, I just wanted to give myself a break, just to kind of see what it's like to not like have to focus on YouTube. And like my brain is still always there, like I'm still thinking about it all the time, I'm just not doing it, right? It's more just like kind of sitting there thinking about it. And I've just been kind of like relaxing, taking it easy, which kind of feels a little bit weird because I feel like I'm wasting my time. I'm somebody who thinks about like time way too much, and like time management, and like, oh, if I'm not doing this, I'm wasting my time. But you know, I think like a period of rest is definitely important for sure. But it's just like that adult life kind of thing where it's just like if you're not working or if you're not doing something, your time is being wasted. Right, your time on this planet is like 1 second. You have one less second of time. Even just by saying this, like I am wasting my time recording this, you could say, right? Like a podcast is only gonna get like 100 views. I could be wasting my time doing this when I could be focusing doing something else. But you know, I enjoy making the podcast. I like making it like a weekly thing, and it's been fun. You know, a lot of people have also enjoyed it, so I do appreciate everybody who has been commenting on the podcast. There's been like a set of like consistent viewers, which I really, really do appreciate. You guys are so kind. And hearing, dude, some of the best things that I love hearing is when like I'm streaming or whatever, and then somebody brings up like, hey, I remember you said that on the podcast, or it's like, hey, you talked about that in the podcast, and that makes me so happy that like people are like actually, you know, watching the podcast, listening to it, because this I feel like is like the most down to earth. Like I'm not trying to like impress anybody kind of thing, right? Or I can just talk about the things that I do or the things that I've experienced and whatnot. And there's like no, I don't have to like, you know, try to be funny, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Where I'm on stream, I'm like constantly thinking like, ooh, what would be funny to say here? How can I make fun of this NPC? You know, like stupid stuff like that. Or I'm trying to be funny. Because I mentioned, I think in a solo podcast a while back, that I'm I'm actually like a lot more serious, I guess. It does help to have like a friend. Whenever I'm like nearby a friend, I feel like, you know, the humor like really helps bounce off. Like for example, when, you know, my buddy Crimson and I would stream together, like those are a lot more funny because we just crack jokes together and we can play off each other. But when you're solo, you constantly have to like be on your toes thinking of new things to say, at least for the way I do content. I've seen lots of other streamers who just like kind of sit there and play the game and then add like a couple comments like every 3 minutes or so. I cannot stand that. I find that to be so boring because like a decent amount of them will have like a huge following. They'll have like, you know, 100, 200 viewers. I'm like, what are these viewers even watching for? Like, I don't mean to be rude, but like the streamer isn't talking. They're not being entertaining. They're just playing the game. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Whereas I feel like if I am not constantly talking, if I'm not constantly saying anything, people are going to click off immediately because I'll just be found boring. Like when I hear a 10-second bit of silence in my video, or I guess a stream, it's like, ugh, that's horrible. Everybody's gonna click off during that period. It's so awkward. Nothing's happening for 10 whole seconds. But you know, a lot of it is probably just them focusing on the game or whatever, which I totally get. And like obviously during like a cutscene, it's better. I feel like when you have a face cam, it's easier to stay silent a little more, because since I don't have a face cam, I can't really provide like facial reactions to whatever might be happening on the screen. Or, you know, for example, let's say somebody's focused really, really hard in game. You can like see them gamer concentrating, you know, you see like the stress on their face. That could be interesting. But when it's just the game, you can't really see that. So you have to use your voice to portray how you're feeling and like tell people how you're feeling. So I feel like that's like probably an advantage that people with like the face cams have over people that don't. I don't know. Just a random thought. You know, I'm talking about like streaming here, but I want to finish up the whole thing about like the break. I was talking about increasing my input and doing less YouTube. The whole like vacation thing, doesn't really have much to do with that because all I've been doing is like playing video games really. But I think while I'm working on like these bigger projects and like the smaller streams and whatnot, I'm gonna like kind of just be focusing on like other things as well. Like I really do want to learn how to play that violin. Like I've had it ready and I've like looked up a few things. I've only done like the very few like basic tutorials, but I actually like want to learn how to play it. You know, like be able to play it and be like have a song to play, and then like, you know, maybe I could even be like, hey guys, here's my song. Let me play the song on stream or something. And people can be like, oh yeah, that definitely needs work, but hey, good job, you're getting there, or something like that. You know, something like that. That would be kind of cool. Just like, you know, add some variety or something. You know, it'll be spicing things up. You know, I think that would be like super fun. Just to be able to incorporate the things that I've learned into my content. That way, I'm not stagnating constantly. Because like without adding anything new or fresh to the bucket, it gets stale over time, which is kind of what I feel like a lot of my content has become recently, just because I haven't really been taking in new things, which is why, again, I'm like dialing back on the amount of production, which is sad because it kills me to do that, and like focusing my time on other things, or at least that's where I'm going to be headed. That's kind of like the direction I'll be heading in. But yeah, talking about like games and streaming, those are two topics I wanted to talk about. There are a lot of games coming out within like the next 5, 6, 7 months. Like there's a lot to play, and there's still games that I haven't even finished. Like Tears of the Kingdom is a game that I started, I was going really hard on for a while, and then I've barely played it like within the last 2 months. I think I've maybe recorded like 3 or 4 episodes in the last 2 months. So that's like maybe I've played the game for 5 hours in the last 2 months. And it sucks because that game is really good, but I'm going for 100%, so I have to do like every little thing. And, you know, a part of me doesn't really want to do that. Don't get me wrong, I love Tears of the Kingdom, but I think like recording the stuff that isn't as interesting can be kind of boring sometimes, where it's like, it's chill, it's laid back, but it doesn't really make for a good video when all I'm doing is like the side content for a game, I guess. I don't know. It kind of like falls back into that sort of let's play thing, right? Where like when you're doing like a let's play, you know, 10, 15 years ago on YouTube, people want to see everything the game has to offer, right? They don't care about like, you know, back then it wasn't the whole, let's condense this entire game into like a 20-minute challenge that I've edited down. Like, yeah, you get the entire game in 20 minutes, only the best of the best moments, stuff now. But, you know, back then, it was just like 30 minutes. I haven't even made it to the first gym within the first 30 minutes of the video because it's just part 1. And then there's like 50 more parts or whatever. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I grew up on and the kind of format that I did my channel with. And it sucks that like that's still the thing that I want to do, is like showcase all the things the game have to offer. Because if, like, you know, what if the viewers want to see this part of the game, and what did I think about this specific part of the game? Well, there you go. It's in that specific video, and I have like timestamps and everything. It's all laid out there. But I realized, you know, like a while back, I think I talked about this already, that the only person who cares about seeing me do that part of the game is probably me and a very small amount of people. Like 99.99999% of the people don't care. But I care about like those 0.111 or 0.00000 like 1% of people, including myself, that like want to see me do that one specific thing. Like, oh, here's a freaking Tears of the Kingdom side quest. Go beat up that one monster that you've beat up 1,000 times before. But that one's special because it's for a quest, even though it's the exact same monster. So it's like, yeah, guys, let's do this quest. And then I have to spend like I spend like 10 minutes recording the quest, and then I had like edit it down to like 2 minutes. Because I do edit down my Let's Plays. I cut out all like the filler and whatnot. So as long as there's always something happening on the screen, whether that just be like commentary, exploration, puzzles, I'm supposed to talk about like Tears of the Kingdom at least. Because to me, it doesn't feel like I've completed the game unless I like do everything, right? That's kind of like that completionist sort of mindset. But I've always had that when I was like a kid. I've literally always had that growing up. Like if I don't 100% the game, then I haven't beat it, you know? If I haven't done every single challenge, if I haven't done all the side quests, gathered all the thingies, then I haven't beat the game. Even though you have beat the game, but it's just like, I don't know. And becoming like somebody who records all that type of stuff, there's a part of me that resents games putting in like all this side content that nobody cares about, because it's good for people who play video games, but it is bad for people like me who are completionists and want to record these types of things. It's awful. It's so bad. Like, it just feels like extra chore work, I guess. Like a Tears of the Kingdom. Like, I'm gonna have to collect all the Korok seeds. There's 1,000 of them in freaking Tears of the Kingdom, and that's just gonna be a chore. That doesn't sound fun. Like, how am I supposed to make getting Koroks entertaining? It's just getting Koroks. It's the same thing over and over. But I want to do it so I can 100% the game because, you know, I love the game. And again, I'm only complaining about like the very few minimal things that I complain about with like that one specific game. There are other games that have like, you know, the completionist sort of thing to collect all these thingies, do all these side quests. But when they're just not interesting, they're just not good for content. But I still want to do them for those, you know, playthroughs and whatnot. And because I want to do all that side content, it makes playing that game even longer, meaning that I can't fit in time for other games. And like I was saying, there's tons of new games coming out. There's Mario Bros. Wonder, which I think releases like in a month or something. I forget exactly. We have Super Mario RPG, which I want to play. There's Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. There's that new Princess Peach game, Showtime. There are 2 games, like mystery novel games that I wanted to play, Raincode and freaking Isomnium Files, the sequel, which are both out, but Raincode I think came out like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. I don't know. It's been out for a little bit, but I wanted to play that like when it released, and I missed the timing window for it. Same with Isomnium Files. I wanted to play that when it released, but I didn't get to it. And then there is a massive game, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, coming out next year. And I think I don't even know how it works, right? Because there's like the original Final Fantasy, which was like in 3 parts, kind of. And then they had Remake, and then they had like an inter-part thing, and then there's Crisis Core, and then there's like a movie, and there's like so much stuff, and it's really confusing, actually. And it's like, I've played Final Fantasy VII Remake, right? That's all I've played. I haven't played the original. All I've played is Remake. So it's like, what do I need to play to be able to play Rebirth and like fully understand it, right? Like, because I know Remake from Final Fantasy VII is actually different from the original. Like, it takes a different path. So it's like, should I go back and play the original and spoil myself on the plot? That could be potentially coming up in the remake / rebirth / whatever they're calling it. And like, there's only part 2. There's still like, gonna be a part 3. So like, it's crazy. And then there's like a spin-off game that's like the exact same as It's like Final Fantasy VII, the whole game, but like a remake. But it's not the remake. It's not the big one. It's like for your phone. It's like, what? I don't even know. And then there's like Ever Crisis. Like, there's so much stuff. I don't know. It's so confusing. And then I don't even know. There was like a game that like with Yuffie, that one character. I don't even know, bro. I think it was like a side story part. Was it DLC? I don't even know. I don't know. I'm so confused. Somebody has to put out like a freaking order because I don't know what I need to play. Either way, that just makes me even more confused for playing Rebirth, which I do want to play. But that's another game that's also like super high end and it's like massive. So I'm a little scared to play that. And I didn't even 100% complete Remake. I beat the game. But I tried to play on hard mode. I couldn't do it. It was literally insanely hard. I don't know how anyone can beat that. It literally seems like so punishing because you don't get like MP back, so you can't heal. You have no special attacks. So unless you play like perfectly, you're just gonna keep losing constantly unless you spam Aerith heal, which takes a while to get because her heal is like based off ATP, not MP, or whatever it was called. I think it was like action points or something. I forget. It's been a while since I played the game. All I know is that Aerith was like really, really good at supporting. Anyway, that game looks fun. I do want to play it. And there's also Persona 3 Remake, which is another massive game. Persona games are known for being massive. I don't know if it's going to be as big as Persona 5 Royal, but I know it's still a very, very big game regardless. And that's going to be really, really fun. But it's just like, there's a lot of games coming out, man. And I still have like an ever-increasing backlog, which I've talked about multiple times. I'm starting to like repeat myself on this podcast is what I've been noticing a little bit, which is why I need to increase the intake. See what I'm talking about, guys? You know, stagnation. But you know, with all these games coming out, it just gives me more pressure to like play all these other games that I haven't beat yet. And then it's like, oh yeah, how do I make content on these games? I think that's been the biggest question I've been asking myself recently, where it's like, how do I want to make content on this game? Well, I could do the Let's Play style, I could stream it plus edit it down into videos for like my main channel or something. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways I could go about it. And if I do like streaming plus main channel, that'd probably be like the most optimal way to do it. I don't know. I'd have to figure it out. It's a whole confusing kind of mess thing, which is why I haven't really been like thinking about it, which is why I like kind of took that vacation, because I was like, a part of me felt like I just was overthinking things so much that I just kind of forgot how to make content. You know, this is mainly for gaming content. Zeez 2 content is just kind of like in its own sphere, I guess. With a lot of the channels, but you know, it's been mainly like the gaming stuff that I've been focusing on recently because I want to transition over to doing more gaming content again. But gaming content is pretty hard to stand out in, and I don't really know how to do it. I don't know if I wanted to do, like I said, the analytical or funny-based type thing, because I'm not a very good analyst. I feel like a lot of my stuff would be, I'd have to put like a huge disclaimer and be like, hey guys, this is just my interpretation/opinions. This does not mean any of these things are objectively correct. This is just the way I've seen them. And I feel like I'm gonna say like a couple things throughout the video, and there's gonna be tons of comments that are gonna point out that one mistake that I made. It's like, that's not objectively correct. That character wasn't trying to do that. They were trying to do this, or something stupid like that. Or it's like, oh, you forgot this one very small, minute detail. And it's gonna be like 1,000 comments on that one thing. That's the one thing I hate about, you know, doing analysis type videos. When I kind of did that stuff on like the Owl House or whatever, when I would do like episodic reviews, if I missed like one thing or I got one thing slightly wrong, I'd get like comments on top of comments all pointing out that one thing. And it's like, I don't get it. I think I've already talked about this before as well. Oh my gosh. But so many times when you make like one mistake in a video, you'll notice if you're a content creator, the comments are so ruthless that they'll just point that one thing out, right? You know, you can have like a 20-minute video. It's an awesome 20-minute video, right? But there's one mistake in it. You know what the comments point out? That one mistake. Oh, but you know, the 99.9% of the rest of the video, I don't want to comment on that. No. I'm not gonna say a single thing about the rest of the video, even though it was completely perfect. But that one mistake, now let's point that out. Even though there's been 1,000 other comments that have also pointed out that one mistake. I think that's the one thing I hate about freaking YouTube comments. It's just like, they will point out your mistake and they will make sure it is known. And it's like every time there's always one mistake, right? When I was doing those episodic reviews like of Owl House and Amphibia, I swear there was always one, right? I would always make sure, like after I like, you know, was doing them for a while, I was like, okay, does the video have any mistakes? Let's see, is there any mistakes in this video? I would always miss one. There was always one mistake that I would make, and it would just flood the comments full of it. And it was so annoying. Part of me was like, okay, here's the thing. All these people commenting on that mistake, you know what that is? Algorithm boosting. That's all it is. So that's like the silver lining, is like every time somebody points out your mistake, it's still another comment. It's still another point, you know, for the algorithm. So that's cool. But at the same time, it's still kind of annoying. You know, just like, come on. I know I messed up. You know, I don't need 10 million comments telling me about this one small thing that I messed up with. But that's the thing that I fear about like analysis-based stuff. Where like the Miraculous Ladybug movie, I'm kind of doing my own thing with it. I'm kind of like just being like ironic, comedic, sort of analytical, because I feel like this subject matter of Miraculous Ladybug is very simple, so it doesn't take like, you know, somebody who's seen like thousands and thousands of movies, or somebody who's like went to school on like, you know, writing or movies or whatever. Like, it doesn't take, you know, a really professional eye to like see all the details that are bad in the movie or whatever. So I think that's a little bit easier. But I think for like, when I discuss, you know, shows that have like really, really solid writing or whatever, it's going to be a lot more difficult for somebody like me who just doesn't really pick up on things very quickly, I guess. I don't know. I see people that are like, oh, did you see the way this was framed or the way this was lit? That means the character feels this, or this symbolizes this. I'm like, how did you even notice that? I just saw like, I saw like an analysis of, I think it was like Puss in Boots or something. And it was like an analysis of like when he meets, this is Last Wish, by the way, when he meets the death of the freaking wolf guy. And I would like, when they were talking on the screen, they're like, oh yeah, this is framed like this because of this. Now, like first he steps into view and like both of them are like on equal footing, but now it's framed where the wolf is like bigger than Puss, and he's like, he looks a lot bigger and more intimidating, and Puss is like smaller or whatever. Or like now it's more darkly lit and this is like more brightly lit when he was just at neutral. I don't know. It's like, how do people even know notice these things? I guess they probably have like rewatch it over and over, but like, how do they know to rewatch that one scene over and over? Like, how do they catch on to those details? I don't know. I guess it's just because they've been doing it for so long that they just kind of see it immediately, or if they're like in the industry. But when somebody's just like a kind of casual viewer who's just like, yeah, that movie was good, I don't really see those types of things. I don't really like know how to point them out because I don't really have the eye for that kind of stuff, right? Like, I'll see like a cool scene and be like, oh, that was cool. That character did this because of this. And it's like, yeah, that's pretty good. You got some good analysis there. But did you know it goes far more deeper than that? It's just like, that's the kind of stuff that I struggle with. I feel like I can only really see things that's like surface level and then slightly below surface level. But like the super, super deep stuff, I feel like I miss a lot of that. I just don't feel like I have the knowledge to like identify that kind of stuff, which is sad because when you don't have the knowledge to identify that stuff, you don't even know it exists. And then you watch somebody else's video and it's like, oh yeah, this exists. And then you're just like, huh? That exists? Like, how was I supposed to know that existed? That's right. It just kind of makes me feel dumb. And it kind of makes you feel like, oh, well, what's the point of me doing analytical content when I don't know how to analyze things? Or not analyze them at a deep enough level to be interesting or stand out from like the rest of the crowd kind of thing. All right, I feel like analysis is a lot harder and a lot deeper than, people make it out to be. I was seeing a lot of people online as well talking about like YouTube specific reviews and whatnot, or like analysis. And I remember this specific post that said something about, I hate it when YouTubers title their videos like analysis of this or meaning behind this, and all they do is summarize. For example, let's say I analyzed Puss in Boots, except 80% of the time, all I did was summarize the film, right? That's what a lot of YouTube reviewers will do, I guess. And like that post was just like, yeah, I hate it when all they do is just summarize. Because people click on a video, see someone's analysis of said media, and like see all like the details behind it. But a lot of time they will just summarize. Like I feel like what I did with my episodic reviews, I felt like it was like 50% summary, 25% reaction, and then 25% analysis. That's how I thought of it. But realistically, it was probably more like 80% summary, 10% reaction, 10% analysis, which kind of makes me like a little sad because, I really liked those videos at first. And when they were popping off, it was only because the episodes were like just releasing. I was the first one to talk about the episode because I released them so fast. I stayed up all night like editing the videos too, so they'd like not look nice, but they'd look presentable. So that's where I got like the kickoff with the Zeez 152 sort of thing. I thought about doing that again with like another trendy show, but I'd have to be into it. A good example right now is Fiona and Cake, actually. I know I'm kind of transitioning from my original topic here, but whatever. Fiona and Cake, I'm sure a lot of you have probably been watching it. I actually haven't seen it at all. I've been seeing people just talk about it nonstop. I've seen so many posts about freaking Simon, bro. All I know about Simon is that I think his wife died and he was Ice King, except he went insane, and then they turned him back from Ice King, and then Finn and Jake are gone. Also, Jake is dead. I don't even know, bro. I've only seen season 1 of Adventure Time. To be honest with you, I didn't even think it was really for me. I don't know. I never really... I shouldn't say I didn't enjoy it, but it was just like... I don't know. The vibe just felt always really weird to me. I don't know. The comedy felt weird. I don't know. It just felt very, like, uncomfortable. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it other than that, but the show just made me uncomfortable. But that was also when I was younger. Maybe I'd like it now. And I heard it does get, like, a lot more plot heavy, like going on forward throughout the seasons. I think there's like 7 seasons. I don't know. And then it's just like, well, to watch Fiona and Cake, you have to watch like all 6 seasons more, or like all 7 seasons of Adventure Time. And I have to rewatch season 1 just so I give myself a refresher. So I had to go through all of Adventure Time just to catch up with Fiona and Cake. And it's like, what if I'm not even interested, right? Like, I know like Fiona and Cake is popping off. It's getting tons of views. But at the same time, I know if I make Fiona and Cake videos, I'm going to trap myself in the exact same thing that I did with Amphibian Owl House. The bad thing about Amphibian the Owl House, when I was making videos on them, was that I knew it wasn't good for longevity because it was a trend. I was capitalizing off of a trend, and that's where my views came from. That's the only reason. And like obviously that's like part of the reason how you grow on YouTube, but I didn't like transition well because I kind of was like coasting by a little bit, and I was losing ideas because after Amphibia ended, like the period that was like super hype where a lot of my channel growth came from was when Amphibia Season 3B was airing, and then Owl House Season 2B was airing, which were like 2 extremely hype times. Like the fandoms were like in their peak state. They were so huge and there was so much crossover. So like by making freaking videos on both of these shows leading up to like the finale of Amphibia too, it was like really, really crazy. And like a bunch of theory videos. It was awesome. It was a great time. But as those shows stopped or started releasing less content, in turn, I was able to release less content. And there hasn't really been a cartoon, I guess, that's really captured me in the same way that either of those have in a while. And I feel like Fiona and Cake for a lot of people is like kind of like the next like, ooh, the big cool like lore adventure cartoon that we can all like really relate to. Like everybody's freaking out about freaking Simon, bro. And I'm just kind of sitting over here like Squidward, and that one image where it's like Squidward sitting in sideways watching like SpongeBob and Patrick play outside. That's literally me. I'm the Squidward right now watching everybody like chill with like Fiona and Cake right now. And one of my buddies who like also does content creation as well has been making videos on Fiona and Cake, and like those views are like going up crazy. He's already got like 60k views on like a single video that released like a day ago. But normally he only gets like 1,000 to 5,000 views, which is like really awesome. Like super happy for him. But it's just like, ooh, you know, I like that. That's cool. But it's like the same thing that happened to me. That's the thing about like the cartoon community or whatever, is that I've noticed that it's all just trends, really. It's a lot of just trends, because when a new cartoon, especially like really hype ones that have like lots of story, are out, you know, everybody's talking about it, and then once the season ends, it's just a slow die off until no one really talks about it anymore. And I should say no one, but it just kind of becomes like a thing that people love, but it loses the trend, right? It's just with any trend, it dies off, right? I'm sure if I made a Grimace Shake video now, nobody would care about it, right? You know, that's like probably one of the most recent trends that I can think about is just freaking Grimace Shake, because that was everywhere for like, what, a week probably? I think it was popular for like I think it was like extremely popular probably for like 5 days, and then it kind of like died off like really fast. But you know, when they were around, they were fun. They were really fun. I even made like a short little video about it. I think when I made my video, it was probably already during the end of the trend. I think if I had made that video like 3 days prior, it probably would have gotten like triple the amount of views. I think it got like 2k views or something. I don't know. That's pretty good. I think it definitely could have got like 10k at least if I had made it like a few days prior. And in that video, I actually said I wanted to talk about trends more, at least on this channel, and I haven't really done that. Mainly because a lot of the trends I've noticed I didn't really like care about. I can't really think of any trends off the top of my head, but a lot of trends I just don't really care about, which is something that I've always been like when I was younger and just growing up. I didn't really care about trends. It just wasn't really interesting to me. And even though it would like get me views to talk about a trend, I just don't find it to be very interesting half the time. Like the Grimace Shake one was funny. It was funny because it was just like haha dead. Funny. And Grimace was like a funny like cartoon, funny like ugly character, purple guy. Purple guy? But again, I just like don't care about a lot of the trends that people do. I don't know. But again, a lot of trends that happen, I just don't really care about too much, I guess. Anyways, rough transition. I actually just ranted about another whole topic, but I'm actually just going to cut it out. I just ranted about a topic for 20 minutes, and I just realized, oh yeah, that's not even that interesting. I'm just going to cut it out. Anyways, I guess I was talking about... I don't even know what I was talking about before this. I guess I can move on to streaming, I guess. I guess this is a real quick topic. I thought about dual streaming. I don't know what the terms of service of dual streaming are, because I'm technically being monetized on YouTube, so I don't know if I'm allowed to also stream onto Twitch. I just thought about doing it. I don't know if I actually will. I don't really like Twitch that much. I don't really like how they manage the site. I don't really like how they treat some streamers, how they're just like biased towards some, and then some they'll just throw under the bus. It's weird. I feel like it's a very inconsistent site that has like really annoying changes that are like pretty dumb. I don't know, I feel like every site has that, especially like Twitter nowadays. They're just like constantly coming up with new ways to like make their site worse. I think there was even a rumor going around, which I'm pretty sure, I don't even know if it was real, but there was a rumor going around at twitter.com where it's like, we're going to make every user pay for the platform. And it's like, okay, you'll literally ruin your site instantly. Like, you're going to lose so many people. Why the heck would you do that? Like, it just feels like they're constantly introducing new things that are just stupid. Anyways, but yeah, I just thought about it. You know, I was wondering like, oh, would that like potentially get me a viewer base that's more focused like on Twitch, I guess. Because I wonder how different YouTube is from Twitch. I feel like the Twitch audience is probably slightly older than the YouTube audience. I don't actually know. I just feel like it is, right? I feel like Twitch is probably more for like high schoolers and like college students. People like around those age, or like target demographic, whereas like YouTube is like definitely kids. It's like it definitely targets like elementary schoolers, middle schoolers, and then like to an extent some high schoolers. Obviously, like everybody's on YouTube, right? I'm not saying that nobody is, but a lot of the views comes from like little kids, right? Because they're constantly on YouTube. They spend all day on YouTube. Or again, Twitch feels like a more mature audience, I guess. I don't know. I mean, especially for me, I didn't even go on Twitch. I think my first time actually watching somebody on Twitch was when I was like 16, and I've been on YouTube since I was like a little babby. Like, I guess Twitch is also like kind of newer as well. But you know, people would always be like, "Oh, follow me on Twitch, watch me on Twitch," and I'd be like, "No, I want to stay on YouTube. I don't want to go on Twitch." I don't even know what made me not want to go on Twitch. I just didn't want to. I just wanted to stay on YouTube, I guess. I guess I just liked non-live content. I don't know. People like live content more nowadays, but I didn't really like live content for a while. I guess it's fine, but I much preferred the pre-recorded type videos. I guess it maybe just felt a little more special because it kind of felt like the YouTuber was talking directly to you as opposed to like a group of people, I guess. I don't know. That's weird. That's weird. That doesn't really make sense. I don't know. I don't even know why I liked it more. I just enjoyed the pre-recorded stuff more. Maybe it's just because I felt like the pacing or like the way the YouTuber was acting felt better. I don't even know, man. I've always just preferred pre-recorded stuff, I suppose. But I like live streams too. I don't know. I guess it's not just like the editing behind it. Like I watched a bunch of videos that weren't even like edited back then. It was just like a Let's Play that only had like maybe a few cuts here and there. So yeah, I don't know. But I do like watching like live streams. I think specifically live streams that I really watch are just tournaments. I've mainly been watching like Smash tournaments on Twitch. I don't really think I watch anything else on Twitch. I don't really watch a specific creator on Twitch. In fact, yeah, I don't really think I do. I don't even think I really watch live streams even. I usually tune into live streams after they're done, when they're like a VOD. I don't know, I rarely ever tune into live streams, unless it's like a creator that I really, really enjoy. Like, I guess I tune into some Fire Emblem creators' live streams. Those are probably the main ones. There's quite a few of them that I'll tune into. But you know, when it comes to like a Smash creator's live stream, I'll like watch it for maybe like a few minutes, then just like wait for it to become a VOD. I don't know, I guess I find it more interesting when it's like a VOD. I don't know, it's weird. Does anybody else feel that? Where they just don't, I don't know, that's kind of weird. But anyway, like, I think the biggest like live stream stuff that I watch, outside of like whenever I watch like the Fire Emblem people, is just tournaments. Like I watch Smash tournaments. I love watching live stream Smash tournaments. That's so fun. And there's actually an Identity 5 tournament happening soon as well, which I'm super excited for because I've only watched well, actually, I didn't even get to watch one of them live. I caught the tail end of one live stream live, and I only got to see one game because they were literally just ending it. So I've technically seen one, but I want to watch one like all the way through because those just seem so hyped to watch live. Like, oh man, I've seen so many games of like tournaments. I think I've probably seen like 200 matches. Maybe not that many. 100 probably. I'd say 100. I've seen like whatever is on the live stream page for Identity 5. I've seen like the last like 20 live streams probably. I've like watched them all. They're all like 10 hours. You know, you have to scroll through a lot though. There's a lot of scrolling, and each game only lasts like 5 minutes. So I'd say like you're only on the stream for like an hour and a half maybe. There's like an hour and a half of matches where like a lot of it's like downtime, prep, you know, breaks, whatnot, stuff like that. Like, I think if you go into live stream, the first match doesn't even start like an hour in. So you already skipped like an hour. Like, the first match is just like, you know, a bunch of prep time, you know, waiting for things to get ready. At least that's how they handle it. Smash tournaments are obviously like much, much, much faster because they're always having like different people on different sets. But it usually takes like, depending on like where you are in the tournament, I'd say like in between each set, it probably takes like a couple minutes. And then like when it's like around top 8, they like really slow things down. It's because they want to like make sure every match is like on the stream. Or even before like a top 8, they'll do like a 30-minute break or something. I don't know. Either way, tournaments are awesome to watch on stream. They're so very fun. And just speaking more about like that Identity 5 game, it sucks because I've been getting so into it, and it just makes me want to make more content on it. But I already know it's gonna perform badly unless I dedicate a channel to it. And I'm not gonna dedicate a channel to it. I'm already telling you that. Like, that's the thing. Like, if I dedicated a channel to it, it'd just be more and more work for me. But I want to make videos on it. It just makes me mad at the algorithm. That's all it does. It's like, I love the game. It's so fun, and I want to make more content on it. But I can't do that because the algorithm is like, oh, if you want to play Identity 5, well, you're not gonna get any Identity 5 fans to watch it because they're gonna come on, they'll watch the stream, and then they'll be like, let's see if this guy has any more Identity 5 content. Oh, what's this? Zelda? Oh, what's this? Final Fantasy? What is all this? I just want to watch Identity 5. And I feel like, I was talking about like the non-commitment thing earlier with YouTube. It just goes back to like picking a job, right? Because, everybody's got to pick a job to do in their life. You can have like maybe a couple, but usually it's like you have like one job that you do, right? That's typical for most people. You usually have like one main thing that you focus your career on. For most people, at least. Some people can have 2, 3, maybe even 4. Really just depends. Hobbies also count, I suppose. But a lot of people just have like one main job that they just focus on. And I feel like YouTube is kind of that as well, which is the one thing I've already talked about this basically, but I'm kind of just elaborating. It's the one thing that I don't like of YouTube going forward, where you can't really branch out a lot until you're like really, really popular. Like if I were to give any creator who's just now starting on YouTube some advice, a lot of people will just say like, find your niche, grow in that niche, and then spread out. That's what you do. You don't spread out from the start, because then no one will care about you. Like, do not do variety from the start, which is sad because variety is what I freaking love. There's so many things that I love. I hate loving things. That sounds so funny, but I literally hate loving things because it makes me want to make content on the things that I love. But since I love so many different things, it's too much. It's just too much, and people just won't care. Like, that's why I have a entire channel dedicated to like Fire Emblem and Pokemon, because Fire Emblem is my favorite game franchise, and I want people to like care about the Fire Emblem videos that I put out. But if I like just kept uploading Fire Emblem stuff to my gaming channel, it would get less views, because that channel has like 3K subscribers. I know like half of that are just like people who came over from Zeez who subscribe because, hey, look, it's this guy, and then they never watched anything. And then 1,000 is like from me building up over like 2 years or whatever, where, like let's say 200 people are there for Fire Emblem, 100 are there for Pokemon, 100 are there for Zelda, 100 are there for Mario, and it's just like those subscribers are so spread thin. Whereas, like, if somebody's subscribing to my Fire Emblem channel, they're a Fire Emblem fan. They're there for Fire Emblem. And you know what they're going to see on that channel? Fire Emblem. No, they're not going to see any Pokemon. They're not going to see any Zelda. They're not going to see any other type of game. They're going to see Fire Emblem. Same with the Pokemon channel. If they're not there for Fire Emblem, they're not there for Zelda, Mario, whatever, they're there for Pokemon. And what they're going to get is Pokemon. That's guaranteed. Whenever I upload a video on that channel, it is Pokemon. And that is better for the algorithm. That is better for the audience. That is why I have so many channels. At least like specifying like one specific niche type of thing. Where the thing that I'm doing is I'm not dedicating myself to a singular niche. Instead, I'm making too many channels and like doing too many niches, I guess is what you could say. Or it's like Zeez 2, cartoons. Zeez G3. This is like my algorithm breaking channel, so this one doesn't really count. I just upload whatever on it because I don't really care about the algorithm. But I would say it's more my personal channel, right? It's just focused on myself and the things that I like create, the things that I talk about. This channel is my don't care channel, right? I just upload whatever, whatever happens on this channel, it happens. If it's gaming, who cares? If it's personality based, who cares? If it's talking about a show, who cares? It's just my anything channel. It's my miscellaneous channel, I guess you could say, because I need to have a place where I can just like dump all this stuff out that I just can't put anywhere else. And that's the thing that 3 is, right? That's what Zeez G3 is. And I really enjoy it, actually. I think this is definitely going to be like, I want to say it's my favorite channel. I shouldn't say that because like obviously like gaming and 2 are like really important to me as well. But 3 is just kind of like, I don't know, my most down to earth channel where I don't have to like try hard to impress anybody sort of thing. I don't have to try to be entertaining. I just kind of dump whatever I want on this channel. And it is fun. I guess the streams I've kind of tried a little bit. But again, the streams are just like stupidity. I can just be myself and be stupid, and I don't worry about like the algorithm too hard. Like I don't really care how well videos perform too well on this channel. I'm just like, if it performs well, cool. If it doesn't, who cares? This is only for like the most dedicated of fans who want to see me more than a specific type of content, right? I guess like the niche is Zeez for this channel, you could say. Or like if everything else is like, oh, this is focused on cartoons, this one's focused on Fire Emblem, Pokemon, whatever. This one's focused on me as a creator, I guess. You could say that. Yeah, that's what it is. Stupid, bro. But yeah, you know, just the whole like spreading out so many different channels type of thing. It's all because of the algorithm, audience, niche type thing. You get where I'm coming from though. You see why I have so many different channels? It's because I love so many different things, and that's why I thought about like open up that new channel, which wouldn't technically be adding to the count of Zeez channels. I'd be removing one, which is the current main channel, Zeez of G, because that channel is already pretty dead in the water, considering the algorithm doesn't really like that channel. So that would become Zeez of G parentheses old. I would still link back to it like on the page and be like, hey, this is my old main channel. Go check it out if you want to see some like Legacy Zeez videos. But I wouldn't upload on that channel anymore, which is probably what I'll do with that channel. Or I'll just dump all my Identity 5 content on there. I don't know. I've been taking some time thinking about what I want to do. Like I said, like the last 3 days, I've been thinking more than I've been doing. I think I'm still in an okay spot. I know the channels are just definitely really confusing for a lot of people, but I want to get to a state where it's just not confusing, right? I want to get to a state where people can understand what these channels are. And, you know, maybe one day, if I ever, like, grow in, like, these niches or whatever, and, like, people, like, spread out across these channels, maybe, like, one day I'll, like, throw away Pokemon and Fire Emblem and then just combine them into the gaming channel. You know, that would be, like, I've already mastered the niche, now I can spread out. So everybody would just go to the gaming channel and be like, all right, this is the ultimate, penultimate gaming channel. Let's just watch whatever's here, you know? We're here for Zeez playing the games. We're not here for the games kind of thing. That would be like if I actually got successful in the gaming sphere type of thing, you know? But I feel like for now, the multi-channel format is kind of where I'm chilling at for now, because we got the main channel, which doesn't really exist yet, but that'll be like gaming focused type stuff. We got the second channel for cartoons. We got the third channel for just miscellaneous stuff focused on me as a creator. We got the Fire Emblem channel to talk about Fire Emblem. We got the Pokemon channel to do Pokemon content, and then that's it. That would be like the 5 channels that I got, I guess. And then probably Zeez of G Gaming would be turned into like Zeez of G VODs, which would mainly be connected to gaming, I suppose. It's so complex, dude. Every time people are like, yo, why do you have so many channels? Or like, you have other channels that you can check out. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to respond to that, bro. Like a couple times, because my username in that Identity 5 game is Zeez of G YT, so like I'll be like, oh, you can check out my YouTube videos, I stream there. And usually when people search my name, it comes up with my second channel, so they're not going to see my Identity 5 content, they're going to see my other content. So it's like, well, that's not working out. And then some people be like, oh, I subscribed to your channel. It's like, oh, did you subscribe to the right one? Which one did you subscribe to? There's like 10 of them. Oh, it's so funny. There's actually an unknown Zeez channel. There's the archive channel, which I actually haven't linked anywhere. And I probably won't. It's just going to be my archive. I might link it from the 3 channel, because the 3 is like my personality channel. But there's no commentary on any of the videos over there. It's all just gameplay. It's all just like a bunch of gameplay that I have. And I might post some non-gameplay videos over there as well. Like I might post some of the POV footage from the roller coasters that I went on recently. I might do that. I don't know. I think I'll be thinking about it. It's just gonna be like my stock footage channel that I can use for later. If I ever need something like that, or if anybody else needs footage, they can use that. And then they'll be like, oh, credit me as Zeez of G, and they can credit me in the description, you know? That'd be pretty cool. You know, getting to help out like other creators, and then also get like a small little boost to be like, hey, this guy did this footage thing. And there's been like weirdly a couple videos that just like got 100 views for some reason. I don't really know why, they just did. I think it's just algorithm being stupid, where it's just like, oh, let's promote this video randomly, even though there's no commentary, and people just like will click on it. I don't know, it's weird. All that's on there, I think, is just like me uploading Dragon Quest content, Fire Emblem Heroes content, Identity 5 content, and like a couple other games. I think that's really it, honestly. But yeah, I think in general, I've really just been talking about my content, what I've been doing recently. So that's basically what every podcast is. That's really all they are, dude. Another thing that's kind of cool, I guess, just to ramble on a little bit longer, since I don't think I've reached my hour-long threshold. I'm not sure if I actually have or not. But my cat is actually turning 4 years old in a couple weeks. Pretty cool. We actually got her the same day, thanks to them release for the Owl House, which is on October 15th of last year. So she's almost been with us for a full year, which is really awesome. I might make like a short little video celebrating Kat's birthday. She's so cute, dude. I love that cat. But yeah, that's gonna be happening in a couple of weeks. I don't really know why I discussed that. It's just gonna be her birthday. We don't actually know how old she is. She was a stray. She's just assumed to be around 3 years old. Like when we got her, they said, oh, she's probably around 3 years old. We don't really know for sure though, but you know, the people assume that she's around 3, and we don't know when her birthday is, obviously. So we're making her birthday the day we got her, which is October 15th. So that's gonna be her birthday. So everybody say happy birthday to Kat in a couple weeks. Actually, wait, I think we have hold on. Let me check the dates here. October 15th is Sunday. Okay, gosh dang it. I was like, if it's a Wednesday, that'd be pretty hype. Okay, so on the October 11th podcast, whenever that comes out, I want everybody to say happy birthday, Kat. So that's in 2 weeks, guys. Get ready. In 2 weeks, I need you to say happy birthday to my cat. She's turning 4. Otherwise, I'm actually pretty excited for next month, because next month is October, one of my favorite months of the year, probably my favorite month of the year. I actually don't know if I have a favorite month. It's probably October. I just love October. The fall vibes, the spooky vibes. I love Halloween. It's awesome. I know people have some really decisive opinions on Halloween. It seems like a lot of people just love it or hate it. I don't know. Some people are just like, I never got down with the spooky vibe. People, it's like, it's so popular, but I just don't care, bro. I'm like, how can you not care? It's awesome. Seeing pumpkins everywhere, seeing skeletons everywhere, bro. It's awesome. I don't care if it's like tacky, seeing like these dumb like default witches, default skeletons. Like, it's so cool, dude. I love spooky vibes. I love freaking Halloween, dude. Oh, I love Halloween. And this year, what I'm actually doing is I'm actually going to carve pumpkins. I actually got pumpkins last year, but I got them too late and I didn't get to carve them. I wanted to make like a little pumpkin carving video or something. I don't know. I thought that'd be kind of cute. But this year, I'm going to make Halloween content. I'm doing it. Every year, dude. Every single year, I freaking want to make a bunch of spooky content and I never end up doing it. I always am just too far behind on my videos. I'm like, oh, I gotta catch up with this. I gotta catch up with that. Funny enough, I'm actually holding a ketchup packet right now. You can't see it, but I'm literally holding a packet of Heinz tomato ketchup that I got. There's a boat on it. No, wait, that's a cake. That's not, wait, is it a cake? Hold on, what the? Why is there ketchup on it? I actually don't know what this is. What is this a boat? Is it a boat with a cake on it? I actually don't know what this is supposed to be. I genuinely don't. Okay, I'll have to take a picture of it. I don't know what this is supposed to be. It looks like a boat, but it looks like a cake. I don't know. I give up. I'm gonna take a picture of it. I hope you guys can just let me know what this is. But yeah, I want to make spooky content, and I think this year I'm just gonna start early, right? It's the tail end of September. I'm gonna start making spooky videos now, and then schedule them for way later in the month, so that I have time to make spooky videos. I think another thing that I want to do is throughout the month of October, I want to play some spooky games. I want to actually play, because I started it last year and never finished it. I'll probably just restart it. But I want to play Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater, because I got that for Switch on sale, and I actually want to play it because it's spooky. And I think I might play Deltarune, because people have been requesting me to play Deltarune. Deltarune's not really necessarily a spooky game, but I feel like it might fit. It just kind of gives me those October-y fall vibes. I haven't played Chapter 2 either, so I'll probably replay Chapter 1, and then I'll play Chapter 2. But I think I'll focus more on spooky games in October. I think that'll be really, really fun. I'm not playing FNAF though. So all FNAF fans, I'm sorry I'm not playing FNAF. I don't like FNAF. I shouldn't say I don't like FNAF. I'm indifferent. I am indifferent toward FNAF. I know people love it. I'm indifferent. I just don't really care about it that much. But I just want to play some spooky indie games. I could probably find a couple other horror games to play. I don't know. I wanted to play, what's it called? The Quarry, I think? Yeah, The Quarry. I think that's what I wanted to play. I forget if it's for PC. I think it's only on PC. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But yeah, that's something that I want to do for sure, is focus on some spooky games for Halloween there. And then have some Halloween specials. I don't know what I'll do yet, but I'll figure something out. It's the month of Halloween, dude. I love spooky stuff, and I want to build a trend where it's just this is spooky. This is the spooky month where I do spooky things. It's oh yeah, this is the spooky month. Zeez is gonna do spooky things. I like spooky. I think I always really like this time of year, honestly. And I also like how close it is to Christmas as well. I know people complain about Christmas being like, haha, funny capitalist holiday, buy stuff where you buy things for things. I don't care. I like it. Some people hate it. I know it's the same thing with like the spooky thing. Some people just don't like holidays. I like them. I think they're cool. I like spooky. Actually, it depends on the holiday. I've never really been that big a fan of Valentine's Day or Easter. Those never really stood out to me. 4th of July is kind of whatever. That's like an American thing. I like the fireworks. That's about it. But Halloween, Christmas. Those are the goats for sure. I think Halloween is definitely my favorite. But Christmas is pretty awesome too. I think Christmas is just so cozy. Christmas is different for everybody, and you don't even like have to celebrate. Obviously, there's like Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and other winter holidays. But for me, my family have always celebrated Christmas, and Christmas just always has really, really cozy vibes for me. Because I would always used to celebrate it at my grandparents' house, and the room that they had it in was always like, it's a super cozy room. There's like a fireplace. They have a really nice tree. It's like kind of dim in the room. It's like all like a lot of wood, and it looks really pretty. And they also have like front properties, so you get to like look out over the lake and like see all the snow, and like looking at all the presents like in a kind of dimly lit room with a fireplace while looking outside at the snow. It was like, it was perfect, dude. We don't really celebrate that anymore. We usually celebrate at my aunt's house, which is pretty much the same thing, but like a little more modernized, a little more different, a lot brighter. I think definitely like the best place to have it was at my grandparents' house for sure. I know this means nothing to you. It's just me talking about my old memories of like Christmas, but I just loved those vibes. And then like whenever we would get like dude, oh man, I'm just like having a bunch of nostalgia for like Christmas days. Oh, it was awesome. We would literally just obviously open like all the presents up, like share what we got with everybody, take a look at what we got, and literally we would get like candies and whatnot. We'd just eat candy for breakfast, and then all the kids, myself and my 2 sisters, we'd just sit in our room. Like we had like a room dedicated to like the 3 of us, because we were like, this is the kids' room where we can be loud and do stuff. And that was where we just like laid out all of our presents and candy all around on the floor. I would like always go up on the top bunk bed, have all my like DS games. I have like a stack of like 5 DS games just sitting next to me, being like, oh, which one should I play first? And I'd just be like shoveling like just candy in my mouth. It was awesome, dude. It was just freaking awesome. Oh my gosh. And my aunt would always like bring her dogs over. So it'd be like a bunch of like little Yorkies running around being cute. It was awesome. We had to be careful though, because they couldn't eat the candy. If they ate the chocolate, they'd perish. Luckily, they never did. But we were always scared of it sometimes. It was just fun, We would always get to like share our new gifts with one another, like try it out. If they were like, it was like a multiplayer game, we'd like play them together. Or if there was like a toy that somebody got, we could like play it together. Sometimes we would just go outside, play in the snow. It was awesome, dude. It was freaking awesome. Like so many Christmases were just that on repeat. And now that like a lot of us are like older, we kind of just, I shouldn't say it's like less special, because it still is a great time when we have like Christmas all together. But usually like for winter break, which is usually like 16 days where I live, we would just stay up at my grandparents' house all day for like the entire winter break, and we just chill there, get to go like play, all do sorts of different things. But again, adult life moment, you get Christmas off, and then you usually get like a few days around that off potentially, or like the weekend around it off, and like that's really all you get. So usually when how we do Christmas nowadays, I'm talking more about Christmas than I am Halloween. What the heck? I guess I'm just getting nostalgic for it. We usually travel to their house on Christmas Eve, stay overnight, stay for Christmas, and then we usually drive back that evening. So it's like we're barely there for 24 hours, if that. I think last year we actually stayed the 26th as well, so we're there for a couple days. But for the most part, we're usually only there for one day, whereas like it used to be like 2 weeks. So it definitely kind of like lost that vibe. But the first day that we're all up there, being around like family and whatnot, and just gonna like to share all the stuff. It's just cool, it's cool. I don't care if it's like cheesy, but that's like the spirit of Christmas type stuff. It's awesome, it's fun. And then you just get to like try out all these like new things that you got with like presents and whatnot. You get to like see what other people react to like your presents are. It's fun. It's a good time, dude. It's a really good time. And I actually do like shopping around Christmas time. I'm not somebody who really enjoys shopping. I think it's pretty boring. But shopping around Christmas time is just a different vibe. It also could just be because I like winter. I just love winter. I think winter's so pretty. I think snow is beautiful. The only bad thing about it is driving in it and shoveling it. That's literally the only bad things about it. And also, it's pretty bad for my car because my car's brakes are garbage. It's like they're so bad. Like if you brake on the snow, you are gonna slide. Like if anyone drove my car in the snow, they're gonna get in a wreck. Oh man, I need to get my car fixed, bro. Oh gosh. Anyway, yeah, no, just shopping around Christmas time is fun. You know, whenever you go to like the mall or whatever, it's just all like lit up with a bunch of different Christmas theme type things. There's usually like a Santa there at the mall. Yeah, it's just fun. I don't care if the people are like, oh, a capitalist freaking holiday where they get you to spend more money. I just think it's fun, you know? You get to see all like the bunch of people happy, usually. I guess it's like really stressful for a lot of other people too. But you know, for me, even if it does come with like some stress, it's usually like pretty worth it to just like get to celebrate. And you know, a lot of other people do it too. Like even though like people celebrate different things, it's usually all around the same time as well. Like it's the winter holidays, of course, so I don't know. I just think I enjoy it, right? I enjoy it. I know there's like a good amount of people out there that just don't like it. Too stressful. It's just not worth it. But I like the vibes, you know? The vibes, I think, are a lot of what makes it special. Like it's at the time of year when it is, the vibes that it is. It's awesome, dude. It's pretty freaking good. Christmas is good. We like Christmas out here. And of course, all the other winter holidays too. Even though I'm not exactly sure what traditions all of them have. I'm sorry about that. But you know, it's a good time of year. But we're speaking more about the spookiness. Spookiness is also awesome. I used to go trick-or-treating when I was younger. I don't remember all the costumes that I went in, but I know I'll try to think of some of them. I was Scooby-Doo. I was Woody. I was Harry Potter. I was a default wizard. Literally just I think 1 year I wore the Harry Potter costume, and then the next year I didn't like get a new costume, so I think I just wore the Harry Potter wizard robe inside out, and then just called myself a wizard because I just didn't want to buy a new costume. I just didn't really feel like it, so I was just like, oh, I'll just be a wizard and just wear it inside out. And I think I was Link. I was Link 1 year. I think Link was actually the last year, because I think my last year of trick-or-treating was when I was 13. Because, you know, most people around me were like, yeah, you're not supposed to go after you're 13. That's usually around the age you should stop. And I think Link was my last year. It was when I was 13. So that was pretty cool. Ended off on a good one. I'm trying to think who else I was. Oh, I was, what was it? I think I was a pumpkin 1 year when I was like 2 or something. I was the freaking prince from like Sleeping Beauty. That was when I was like 4. That was like when my parents always picked the costumes for me. Like I don't think I got to pick my own until I was like 7 or 8. Usually my parents would just pick it for me. But yeah, I was also the freaking prince from Sleeping Beauty, which I don't even remember. Oh, I was was I Peter Pan 1 year? I don't remember, dude. I don't remember all the characters that I were. I only know like the main one. I know for sure Scooby-Doo. I know for sure Woody from Toy Story. I know Link from Zelda. I was never Mario. I think I wanted to go as I think I wanted to be like one of the Mario. I think I probably wanted to do like Luigi. I think I probably wanted to be like Luigi if I went like when I was 14, but I didn't get to go. So rip Luigi. I'm kind of surprised I was never Mario or Luigi. That's kind of crazy. I think I would have been. I guess maybe it's because I don't know. Yeah, actually, I don't know. I'll have to like think about it. I'll have to see if like there's any more like pictures or whatever. But yeah, those are the ones that come off on the top of my head. So yeah, definitely let me know what. I think that's a good question since Halloween is like a month away from now. Maybe not now, but maybe I'll save this question actually for later. Actually, wait. When is the podcast before Halloween? Does it lie up on Halloween? Oh, what the heck? Okay, on the 25th. How about that? I'm just planning ahead for podcast. On the 25th. That's when I'll ask everybody if they're going trick-or-treating that year, if they'll be dressing up, or even if they're just going to like a freaking party. Like, are you dressing up for Halloween? And if so, who has? Not now though. Let's save that for later. I think I'm just getting ahead of myself, getting a little too excited for Halloween, Christmas time, it's right around the corner. So, it's a good time. Either way, I think that's probably a good spot to end it off on. Talk about some more fun stuff as opposed to just me being like, haha, YouTube content, the algorithm, Mr. Beast. I feel like that's what most of the podcasts are. I gotta stop talking about it all the time, bro. I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing about it. But when it's your job, it's kind of hard to avoid. And when it's all you think about, it's also kind of hard to avoid. Either way, thanks for listening to the podcast, everybody. I do appreciate it as always. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll check out the Reddit next week. Sorry I didn't do that either. So yeah, bye-bye.